Hi, my name is Kevin. My friends and I are so excited to invite you to a 5-week workshop called Encounter God's Heart for the Nations. Here's a little bit more information.
So we all got to know each other starting 2 or 3 years ago as church mission leaders. And as we got to talking and learning about what we're doing in each other's churches, it was interesting that we all kind of have the same burden to see people in our churches more excited and ignited for what God is doing, both around the world and around our communities, and being involved in it. So as we were thinking, what could we do? Really, that's how Encounter God's Heart for the Nations, this workshop, came about. We didn't want it to just be educational, learning merely, but something that had a practical element to it that gave people opportunity to actually go and do it, to live on mission.
Yeah, it was really interesting. As we talked, we all had similar experiences in our churches, encountering people from every walk of life, realizing that people had a disconnect. They saw and understood that there was something bigger going on in our world and that they wanted to be a part of it, but there was just this gap that they didn't understand how they fit into that. And so that's where we're really excited to see how Encounter can fill into that gap in a way that the workshop will educate people and give them understanding about what God is doing specifically in the world, and then inspiring them, touching their hearts, and helping them to see how their story fits into this bigger story. And then empowering them, giving them hands and feet to know how they can fit in and work this out in their own lives.
Yeah, I like what you said. I think that a lot of people kind of have been on this journey for a little bit and are going down the path of getting to know God and God's heart a little bit better, but we're wondering what's next, right? And so to understand that God has a vision and a strategy for the world to engage the entire world, for all people of all nations to be worshiping Him, and that He calls us to be a part of that. And that can look like a variety of ways. I hear a lot of times missions is for some people, but maybe not for all. And I would argue, I think missions is for all. And we talk a lot in our world about pray, give, go. And I think it's all about taking one next step. And I think Encounter, this workshop, could be a next step for some people to learn more about what God's doing around the world, and then also to take a step in praying or giving or going towards God's global purposes.
And when we were discussing who might benefit from this, we were recalling stories within our own churches of people that engaged in missions. And I was thinking of Tim, who is a young father and really felt called to engage in the local community. And so him and his family are working to support families and reach others. And then I was also thinking about Brenda, who is someone who's been on mission trips for years and has raised her children, and now she's an empty nester, and she has decided to take that step to become a missionary across the world. And so really this is for everyone, whether they are curious as to how they can make a difference locally, globally, and of all ages.
Yeah, this is what's going to be really cool, is that we're bringing thought leaders from around the world of missions to come and share from their experience. So this isn't just going to be a class that you sit and get a lot of information in. It's going to be experiential and interactive. So the people that are going to be participating are going to be able to hear from people that have actually gone and done before, and be able to glean from those experiences themselves. So it's going to be a great opportunity.
And then at the end of the 5 weeks, they're not just leaving with head knowledge. We get to go out and each classes will do a cross-cultural project within the local community in Northwest Indiana.
So really, every Christian is called to be a global Christian and a local Christian, burdened, zealous for the billions around the world and for our neighbors right around us. So I really think this has the potential to be a game changer in our region and in our world.
For more information and to register, visit EncounterGodsHeart.com. Can't wait to see you in February.